Hey there, it's Rachel from All About Planners. In this video I'm doing a review of the Pretty Simple Planners weekly planner for 2018. So it's dated from January 2018 to December. This planner, I've only been able to find it on Amazon. It was only $8 US, which I thought was a bargain for a planner. Most of them like unheard of to get a planner for that cheap. So if you're not into all the bells and whistles, all the extra pages and the pretty cover personalization and all that stuff, if you just want something that's really simple and functional, this one would be a good option. So it is about 8 inches wide by about, I think it was 10 when I measured it, by about 10 inches. I'll have all the dimensions in the blog post, which will be linked below if you want to go check them out afterwards. So it feels very light. I don't think it would weigh much more than my paperweight, which is great if you want something that's portable but that's still big, because I know a lot of the lightweight planners are like personal size and tiny. You can't fit anything on them. So if you need something that's bigger and doesn't weigh much, this one would be a good option. The reason it's so light is because it's glue bound, not spiral bound. So the cover feels really smooth. It feels kind of like velvet, which is kind of odd. I've never had a planner that felt like that on the cover. It's different. Feels pretty nice. I quite like it. Okay, so we've got the This Belongs To page, and then we go into the monthly spread. So one of the cons is that there are no tabs, so you're going to need to have a page marker or some sticky notes to mark way up to. For $8, you can't really complain. I mean, that's like the cheapest planner that I've pretty much ever found that is dated and got monthly and weekly spreads. So this is the monthly calendar. It's nice and big. You get big writing space. You've got the like days, important national holidays pre-printed. Starts on a Sunday. You've got a quote, note sidebar. That's pretty big line spacing. If you get my ruler out, that is about 1 centimeter wide, which is pretty big. If you work in inches, it's about a bit more than ½ an inch. So it's pretty wide line spacing. You could always cover that with stickers as well if you wanted to. Okay, so let's go to the weekly spread. So one of the things that I thought was kind of weird is it's got the dates printed, right, but it doesn't have the days of the week. So it's like January 1, okay, it's a Monday start. So the weekly spread starts on a Monday, but the monthly calendar starts on a Sunday. Yeah, I don't really like when planner companies do that. It can just confuses the crap out of me when I'm planning and I'm like, oh, whoops, I just put Monday's plans into Sunday, etc. So keep that in mind. If that is a like deal breaker for you, this planner might not be a good fit. So we've got dated, we've got cute little flags. This layout reminds me a lot of the Emily Lay Simplified Planner, the weekly version. So if you like that style but you want something that's cheaper, you could always go with this one. It does have a full like line space on the weekends. So in the Emily Lay one, on the Sunday it has like pre-filled like weekly routine tasks. So if those aren't applicable to you and you don't want to be widening them out every single week, then this one would be a good fit, and obviously it's a lot cheaper. You can always add colour by like highlighting the days of the week if you wanted to add a pop of colour that way. You could use coloured pens, put a strip of washi tape down the bottom. So you can always like jazz it up a bit if this is a bit too plain for you. And I really like that it's got this lined space on the side here and then a checklist for each day as well. The national holidays are printed on the weekly spread and as well as the monthly spread, which is great because sometimes planner companies don't do that. They'll just print it on either the weekly or the monthly. So it's good that it does it on both, so you don't have to be handwriting that stuff in yourself. I don't really understand why they put such a big gap in between. Like that's the width of my finger. That's probably like 0.75 inches, I'd say, in between. So it's kind of a bit of dead space rather than just expand out the columns. But anyway, it's probably like a small nitpicky gripe. I'm a bit of a OCD, very picky about my planners. So you've got a fair bit of space here. So if you're left-handed, it wouldn't be too bad to write on because it's so flat. And let's do a test and see if it lays flat towards the middle. So it is rebounding a little bit, but it's not too bad because one of the main reasons I don't use sewn binding planners or like book binding ones is because it like auto closes. It doesn't really want to lay flat, but this one is laying flat, so that's pretty good. Very impressive. Okay, so let's check out some of the other monthly calendars, because if you watch any of my videos, you'll know that my pet peeve, and one thing that I always check, is that if the dates end on the last row and it needs more space, whether it continues the numbering up the top or whether it starts a new line or if it splits boxes in two. So let's try and find a month. Oh no, they did it. They did my pet peeve. Okay, so they have split the boxes in two, and not only that, they've done it diagonally. Why? I do not understand. I will never understand why planner companies do this. You've basically just deleted 4 days worth of functional planning space because no one can write anything in a tiny little triangle. So if there's any people that make planners, any planner companies watching this video, please take note. We do not like when you do a diagonal line. It's completely impractical, illogical, waste of space. Okay, rant over. so when this happens, I just put some white out here and I just white out the date and then restart the numbering up the top. So yeah, it's a first world problem, but it does still get on my nerves because I see it happen so often. Okay, so monthly calendar, we've got the little quotes that change for each month, which is cool, like some quotes. And then at the back, it doesn't really have any notes pages, it's just a couple of blank ones. So I did some pen testing, as I always do when I get a new planner. And I was quite impressed with this one. So this paper feels quite thick. It feels kind of textured too, like it's not just smooth, it has a bit of, I don't know how to describe it. It's like textured though. Okay, so I did some pen testing and I did a whole bunch of different pens. Some you've probably seen, some you might not have. A variety of glitter and gel pens and ballpoint pens. Also did some stamps and some highlighters. So have a look on the back here. We can see that there was some ghosting, some pretty bad ghosting actually, on the back with all the pens, regardless of whether it was ballpoint or gel. So it's a bit disappointing. But again, it is a cheap planner, so they're probably using cheap paper quality. The Mamby stamp always bleeds through. I'm yet to find a planner that it does not bleed through. Take note if you like using Mamby stuff. Yeah, it's cheap, but it is like mass produced and sometimes the quality just isn't all there and they always bleed through the page. The friction ones, however, do not, which is great. I love the friction stamps, they're my favourite. Don't bleed through and you can erase them as well, so they're definitely my top pick for stamps. Highlighters, again, ghosting as well, so if that annoys you, it probably might not be a good fit for you because as you can see there's even ghosting of the actual printing on the pages, so it does feel quite thin. Like I said earlier, it's a cheap planner if you're using this for school or you just want to do like note taking, you're not sure if a planner is going to be the right fit for you. If you want to try out using a planner, this one might be a good idea rather than going and spending a ton of money on one you might not use. If you want to try a horizontal layout, if you're normally a vertical person, this one would be a good one to try because it's so cheap. So again, you do get what you pay for with the paper quality, but on the whole, I'm pretty impressed with it for $8. US, I think that's a pretty good deal. Get the weekly pages and the monthly calendar, and dated as well if that is a big pro for you. For me, it's not. I just use undated or dated. I can just put date dot stickers, but overall, very functional planner, nice and simple layout. You can always customize it with stickers, washi, etc. Remember, there's no tabs, so pretty much wraps up this video. Hope you found it helpful. Don't forget to subscribe for more planner videos, and also check out my blog, which is allaboutplanners.com.au. I reviewed probably up to about 80 planner reviews now. I love planners, as you can probably tell. So if you want more planner reviews or you want to look at a specific planner that you've been eyeing off and have a review for it, I've probably reviewed it. Again, it'll be on my blog. Don't forget to subscribe as well. I do more planner videos, usually one per week. So I hope you found this video helpful, and I'll see you in the next one.